I'm Jay Thomas, and welcome to Rides.
Sponsored by OK Tire, this show looks at anything that has an engine and a story told by the owners.
All right, here we go, Minnesota. The weather never disappoints here, does it? Dennis, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Hopefully we're not going to get zapped by lightning here, but good to see you.
Nice to finally meet you. What are we looking at?
Today we're going to look at my junk.
Your junk.
Yep.
That's what we're all about. We're all about junk on rides, man. Oh, dude.
You got a garage full of junk, mostly.
Dude, yeah, this looks like junk, all right, man.
Well, it all started out like junk at one point.
Well, let's talk about this beautiful Falcon. What, 64?
It's a 1964, the predecessor to the Mustang.
Yep.
It was my uncle's car.
Yeah.
So he came back from Vietnam in 68, I think, and he bought this car, and it had the 260 in it. And I remember my grandfather chewing his butt because it had the 260 in it.
Okay.
And he put a Cleveland in it, a 351
Cleveland,
Yep.
okay.
It sat out for years. It sat out in the field and was rusting away after its prime.
Oh.
So he was out here ice fishing with me one year, and we had a few beers in the fish house.
Imagine that.
Yeah. I convinced him to sell it to me. There wasn't anything left. There wasn't a motor in it. The transmission was in the trunk.
It was basically a planter out in the yard.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
But all the metal was there. This is all original metal on the car.
Is this all the original bright work on it too?
Yep. Yep.
So you convinced Uncle to sell it to you?
Sold it to me for $700, and it was a 5-year project.
Yeah.
The professional stuff you leave to the professionals.
Yeah.
I mean, I certainly couldn't do this body work, and I owe a lot of thanks to a lot of guys in the area. It's a big, big car area.
It is, yeah. How much horsepower?
I would guess around 350.
That's not bad for a little Falcon.
It's way more than this little car needs. I put a posi in it. It's got coilovers, front, back, 4-link in the back, 4-speed transmission.
I love the color treatment, the black, the red.
That's the original interior, too. So even the badges on the seats, those are original. Obviously, the covers aren't original.
Yeah,
or anything.
the covers, but everything else original in here. So who planned this out? I mean, you know, the look of it, the color combination, was that
was
you
me.
doing?
That was all me.
What was it originally?
Those were from 1969.
Look at that. That's cool,
So
man.
that's the original color of it.
So this has been in the family since, what, 68 you said?
Yeah, probably 68, I would guess. My sister and my brother-in-law are still in Bismarck, so I parked it at their house once I got it on a trailer and off the farm, and I left them a bunch of mice in there.
You don't see a lot of these out on the road.
They don't drag a lot of money either. They're not kind of strange, because, you know, that the Mercury version was the Comet.
The Comet, yep.
The Super Cyclone.
And that brings the money.
Right. So I kind of went after that look with this car.
No, it's a gorgeous ride. The wheel, I mean, right down to the wheel treatment, everything. It all blends.
The stance, the new stance.
The stance
I just
is really
love
nice
it.
on this thing.
It goes down the road like $1 million.
I was going to ask you, going down the highway, no problem. What are you running for a tranny in it?
So this old 4-speed was in the trunk, and I remember my brother giving me crap that you can't use that old 4-speed. I'm like, oh no, that 4-speed's going in this car. It's got a injector shifter, and those are kind of rare. You can't find a lot of those. They're worth, some money, just the shifter itself,
Yep, that's the stuff you want to hang on to.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. Remember, we were growing up. I mean, we would, get these things and you do the next day conversions on them and take all the parts, and we threw them away. Never hung on to those parts, and now, of course, we're kicking ourselves in the rear end for that.
Yeah.
We're not hanging on to that stuff. These are cars that you want to save.
Yep.
And I do think that these things in time are going to just keep going up. I mean, these Falcons are really good-looking cars.
Every place I take it, it's an attention gatherer for sure.
But because there's not a lot of them where you go, you're going to see the Mustangs, you're going to see the Mopars, you're going to see the Camaros. You don't roll into a show and see a dozen of these.
Right.
So is your uncle still
Oh yeah.
What did he think when this thing was all done?
He got a little teary-eyed, a little emotional.
Well, it was a part of his life for years.
It really was, and he was very happy to see it back on the road again.
I bet when he saw it like this, that's not like it was when he bought it. It's for damn sure.
No, and he's a great guy. I love him to death.
This is great job on this, great history on it, and the fact we're keeping it in the family.
Yeah, you know, they're good drive, and I drive them all. I drive them every week. Our car club, our local club, Lake Country Cruisers, we do a cruise night every Wednesday in the summertime, so they get driven.
They can't just sit around, because actually that can hurt the car more
For
than
sure.
anything else. These things they're meant to be driven. Can you fire this up?
Oh yeah.
Sounds great. That's just nice low, yep. Nice and throaty. What are you running for exhaust on this?
Just 2-inch. No headers.
2-inch?
There wasn't any room for headers in it.
Sounds great. No, it's got a nice throaty sound. Gorgeous car, man. Awesome. 64 Ford Falcon, your uncle's, and he kept it in the family, redid it. It's gorgeous. Hey, man, thanks for being on rides. Finally. Now, can we go check out your hangout?
Yeah.
We'll check out Dennis's hangout in just a bit, but we're going to make a pit stop to a local car show right after the break. All right, we're on our way out to Castleton, North Dakota, the annual Cruise to Castleton put on by Swanks Car Club. We're going to go check out some really cool stuff.
I'm Jay Thomas, still hanging out at the Swanks Cruise to Castleton, and I thought we had everything wrapped up, and then this thing rolls in here, and we found the owner, Stacy Froelich-Jankowski, right?
Yes.
Pretty, not bad at all. How about that? Stacy, welcome to Rides.
Thank you.
This thing is wicked looking, man. All right, tell us about your Camaro. What is it, 11?
It's a 2011
Okay.
RS 2SS.
Okay.
I bought it a couple of years ago, actually out of Arizona, and I've had this concept in my head for quite some time, even before I had the car.
So this was your idea?
So this was all my concept.
You rock right there. I love it.
And this last winter, my dad runs a body shop, and we got it in and did the custom paint on it.
Now, when you say we, you were getting in there getting dirty too?
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it when the ladies get into the cars.
Yes, no, I definitely had a hand in most of it. He does the artistic stuff. I do more of the sanding and that
So
that
Dad
kind of
makes
thing.
you do the real dirty work.
I do the dirty work.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's actually the original black color.
Okay.
We did a flat clear over it.
PPG clear?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yep.
the flat clear, yeah.
Flat clear. And the flames are actually, they've got the Prisma flake in them, so that when the light shines on
Yeah, I
them,
can
they
catch
really
some of
shine.
it, yeah.
Did the wheels that same flat black, added the front splitter, and then my husband actually did the exhaust on
Yeah,
this.
let's talk about the exhaust, Stace, because people are asking right now, there's no way that exhaust is functional. Is that functioning exhaust?
Fully functional.
And it sounds fantastic. When you drove by, it's like, wow. Of course, not the factory hood.
No, that's the Copo style. It is actually a carbon fiber hood.
Yeah. So what are you running for an engine in this thing?
It is the stock 6.2 V8.
Okay.
It does have headers and a K&N high performance air intake.
So not a whole lot done to the engine, but it really doesn't need it. It
No.
probably gets up and boogies pretty good.
It does.
And I noticed you guys shaved the handles off.
Yep, shaved door handles. And then the rear tires are also wider. They're 305s.
Yeah, those don't look like those would be factory. Those aren't factory
No.
tires on this thing. Man, this is cool. All right, can you get in there and fire it up for us?
Yeah, for sure. I need my keys though.
Oh, you got to get the keys. Here, I'll hang on to the keys for you, Stace.
Yeah.
Probably not going to get them back, but yeah, we got to hear this thing. Thing sounds great. Give it some gas. Juice it. That's awesome. Stacy, this is a great car.
Thank you.
This is really, really cool. And it's cool that it's your head that came up with this, and your hands did the work too.
Yes.
Great car. Stacy, thank you for being on Rides.
Thanks so much.
Great job. I told you at one point we're gonna get this thing on camera, buddy. God, I love this thing. I don't know what it is. This thing is just rough and nasty. This thing's got a pretty cool history. So there was actually really in Fargo, North Dakota, McCoe's Mattress Company.
I'm kind of attached to it.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Don't go anywhere. More rides after the break.
This thing is wicked looking, man. So this was your idea?
This was all my concept.
You rock right there. I love it. You were getting in there getting dirty too?
Oh yeah, I do the dirty work.
It probably gets up and boogies pretty good.
It does.
People are asking right now, there's no way that exhaust is functional. Is that functioning exhaust?
Fully functional.
And it sounds fantastic. That's awesome. Usually we don't do car shows, but it's so hard to film. But I come every year. It's called the Swanks Cruise to Castleton. Castleton, beautiful little town. And they have it's called Summerfest, and this is the kickoff. Hundreds of cars show up for this. Every year I come to this thing. Every single year I got to sit here and drool over this beautiful truck that you folks are about to see. The owner is Mark. Hey, Mark, how you doing, buddy?
Yep.
I told you at one point we're gonna get this thing on camera, buddy. 49 Chevy Thriftmaster, right? Mm-hmm. People, check it out. How long have you had this for?
Oh, 18 years.
18 years. I don't know what it is. This thing is just rough and nasty, but every time I come here, I go right to your truck. Or I should call it your delivery. What do you want to call it? Delivery van?
Panel truck.
Panel truck. There we go. This thing's got a pretty cool history. What's the story behind it?
Yeah, well, it was originally a McCoe's mattress in Fargo.
Really? That was the name of the company?
That had been sanded off and kind of painted over when I got it. And it was starting to come back through, and I thought, well, it ought to read something on the side, and kind of pondering as I was building it what it should have on the side. And it's just got to go back to original, so then I had my brother paint that on there.
I thought McCoe's mattress was just kind of like a spoof, a goof.
No.
So there was actually really in Fargo, North Dakota, McCoe's Mattress Company.
Yep.
Okay, got to be, what, back in the 40s?
Yeah, I did run into one of the descendants of the company, and then I talked to a guy that said, I used to drive that.
Actually drove this truck
Yes, yeah.
working for McCoe's Mattress. Mikko's mattress. Why does that sound so Canadian? Sorry, A. Take off, you hosers. So 18 years you've had it. What do you got for running gear?
It's got a GM front suspension off of a Cutlass, Camaro rear end, and 305 tune port fuel injection small block in it, and 700. And
nice floater?
nothing real special, but yeah, real good cruiser.
Really good cruiser. Nothing. No, there's nothing special. Like I said, it's just rough. It's
yeah.
We like to call that patina.
I think I looked at this 7 times before I bought it. I just couldn't leave it alone. I just kept on coming back to it, and finally had to buy
that's
it.
what I do every time I come to this show once a year. I come right to Mikko's, man. I love this thing, and if you ever sell it, I get first crack at it. I'm guessing probably not. You've had it 18 years.
I'm kind of attached to it.
Yeah, just a little bit. Inside, nothing special. Let's take a look. I mean, it's just, it's just your good old late 40s panel.
Yeah.
I love it. Is that dash? How original is the dash of this thing?
Completely original.
The gauges are?
No.
No, I was going to say no. I don't think they had.
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't think they had digital back in '49.
Yeah.
But they're the proper looking gauges for it. God, I love this thing. It's a great. Are you ever going to do anything with the inside, or just leave it? I'd leave it. I'd leave it. Maybe throw an old mattress in there. It's a great truck. Like I said, I always tell you, I'm gonna get this thing on the TV show, and when we finally got it on the show, folks, it's just patinaed, and it's just a cool looking truck, and it hasn't been molested. Hasn't been chopped, channeled, none of that. It's just the way it came off the factory for the most part. I love it. Mark, thanks, man. Thanks for sharing Mikko's. Thanks for being on Rides.
You bet.
Today we're gonna look at my junk.
We're all about junk on Rides, man. So here's the hangout.
So this is the hangout. I've got a thing about hanging stuff from the ceiling.
I like that, man. That's not an old Montgomery Ward's mini bike, is it? Because it sure looks like it.
After the break, we're going back to Pelican Rapids because guess what? Dennis has a hangout too. More rides coming up.
Today we're gonna look at my junk.
We're all about junk on Rides, man.
Earlier in the show, we visited Dennis Shell and looked at his beautifully restored Falcon that his uncle sold him when it was just scrap. Turns out, he's got a really cool hangout.
We got to go check out your hangout. Can we do it?
It's right attached.
Well, let's go take a look at it. So here's the hangout.
So this is the hangout. At some point I probably live over here. Who knows? It's got an upstairs in it. That's just mostly collection up there too, of overflow of junk down here.
Really?
There's not much up there other than junk. What do you do with this stuff that you've been collecting for years, and you're really not going to put it in your house, so it wound up out here in the bar.
Well, I don't know if you do like I do, but about every couple of years I get a bug in me, and I'll go out the garage and start pulling stuff off the walls, switch it out, put something else on, tuck it away, give it to a buddy or something. You get bored looking at the same thing over and over.
Probably half this junk came from buddies that their wives made them get rid of it, and they're like, Dennis will hang it in his bar, I've got a thing about hanging stuff from the ceiling, so.
I like that, man. That is really cool. So what do we got? Is that an old Montgomery? That's not an old Montgomery Ward's mini bike, is it? Because it sure looks like it.
My son worked for a gentleman up on Pelican Lake. He was a car guy as well, and he had that sitting around in his shed, and he wanted to get rid of it. And my kid calls me, sends me a picture. He goes, $75. I'm like, $75, I'll hang it on
That's
the wall.
That's a hanger. You bet.
There it is.
You got that right. Well, the reason I ask, I remember growing up, the kids in the neighborhood whose parents didn't have a whole lot of money.
Right.
You got the Montgomery Ward mini bike. Now, the family had money.
They got an SL 125.
Well, they got that, or they got, remember the Articat mini bikes?
Oh,
yeah, they got the Articat mini bikes.
Yeah, they're dragging big money. The Articat's dragging big money.
They are.
So those are pretty much where I wouldn't even put my grandkids on those.
Yeah, it looks good though, man. They make great hangers.
The bar was fabricated by a buddy of mine in Pelican, a welder, and he hangs this on his wall in that welding shop because he was so proud of his artwork there on the Pontiac. But I found the surfboard and had him build a bar around the surfboard.
It's a great little hangout, man.
Yeah, it's a popular neighborhood hangout for sure.
Is the beer free here?
Yeah,
That's why it's a
most of it.
popular.
Right?
That's why it's a popular hangout, Dennis. The beer's
Exactly.
free. Is that an old Moran's? Mm-hmm. It is, huh? Look at that turntable.
And I've got way more vinyl upstairs.
Vinyl sounds better. And as you get older, we realize that, wait a minute, the vinyl just had a sound that you will never, ever top. And I see you got the 8-track player, too.
It's got a Barry Manilow tape in it.
Dude.
So I'm afraid to hook it up. I think that tape would just disintegrate if I actually tried to play it. So,
So just leave it as
just leave it as is.
Instead of a wall hanger, it's a shelf hanger.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
exactly.
Again, more junk, you know?
No, but it's cool junk.
Yeah. At some point, my kids will have to get rid of all my junk, you know?
At some point, they may be glad that Dad hung on to this junk, you know?
Oh, the way the market's going,
It is.
you know?
All this stuff.
Yeah.
All this stuff is becoming worth a lot of money. Well, dude, this is awesome. This is a great little hangout.
Well, thank you.
Like I said, right off the garage, you got the beautiful cars, you got the view of the lake,
Yeah.
you got the free beer at Dennis's place.
Watch a few Bison games in here.
There you go.
Saturdays, it's good.
I love it, man. Well, hey, thanks for sharing the hangout as well.
Oh, you're welcome. Thanks for coming out, you guys, really.
Thanks, man. Honestly, thanks so much.
Hey, if you have a cool story that involves a car, a motorcycle, a boat, heck, anything with an engine, we want to hear about it. Just go to rideswithjthomas.tv, send us a picture with your story, and your ride can be featured on the show. Be sure to visit our YouTube page for full episodes and exclusive content. From everyone here at Rides, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I need cheaters for this, man. Come on. Who's
That's my kid there.
Yeah, see, nobody listens. Nobody listens to me.
Well, Mustangs are still a dime a dozen.
Oh, what? He said it, man. I didn't say that, Mustang owners.
Well, maybe it's not going to run. Is this going to get me any dates?